Fighters.
And we're back! Hey, Torment, Ties of Numenera, and I fell through the roof. Or did I? And I got some stuff from here, and I got some stuff from here, and these two people are gonna help me. And this guy really doesn't like the changing god, who apparently is the one I was once upon a time. And this is neat, you can actually see his stats here. He's got good intelligence, he's got good might, but not very fast kind of guy. She's very weak, got some really high intelligence, and I'm kind of in the middle ground here, to be honest. Alright, let's go.
Yes, now.
Yes, now! Can you not comment on that every time I click on something? Alright, I guess I should talk to my... Alright, sure, Allerger, let's talk.
This is the reef of fallen worlds, kid. It's
Oh.
a dangerous place at the best of times. And with you lighting up the sky as you fell, well, we should get out of here as soon as possible.
This is the hole I fell through. My impression of him wasn't that far off. Why were you looking at me when you said that? I wasn't, he growls. Don't be so paranoid. But when she isn't looking, he raises his eyebrows at you knowingly. What makes the reef so dangerous? The Numenera of the past are always dangerous. There are other dangers too, some closer than others. What are the Numenera? You want me to tell you? He laughs without mirth. The Numenera are all around you. Everything left over from the prior worlds. Sage's Cliff, or Sage's Cliffs, whatever it's called, thrives by trading artifacts from ancient civilizations. Hells, you can't scoop up a handful of earth without finding grit from prior worlds mixed with it. Ugh. Numenera is anything from the prior worlds, but mostly we mean the stuff of value to us. A lot of Numenera are just oddities, fancy trinkets with little real use, but sometimes you'll get a cipher that lets you do something incredible. Artifacts are worth even more. A cipher will only do something once, but artifacts last a lot longer, though they can burn out at the most inconvenient times. He frowns. Not that it's ever happening to me. Of course, we've got no idea what most of this junk was originally intended for. In most cases, it doesn't really matter. Like, you might find what used to be a propulsion unit for a star chariot, but who the hell knows enough to build you the rest of it? Better to use it as a weapon or a power source. He scowls, frustrated about something. I bet we could just remake the world if we knew a tenth of the secrets of the ancients, but most days it's a challenge just to survive. What's your story? Ask me again when we get out of here. I don't trust this damned reef any more than the company we keep. What do you think of Calistage? A parasite disguised as a scholark. Don't be surprised if she betrays you before the day is done. Actually, that would be slow for her. Then why are you traveling with her? He clenches his mouth shut, and you can see his jaw muscles working. She said she could help me with a problem I had. We never seemed to get anywhere with my business, but we found plenty of time for hers. He looks you square in the eye. It wasn't something I'd care to do again. Keep that in mind when you talk to her. Okay. Can you tell me about your tattoos? They look almost alive. These? They're nothing. Call them a constellation if you must. He smiles grimly. Some call them by worse names, but that's because they've had the occasion to run afoul of these little snakes. He looks away. The line of questioning is clearly at an end. What do you think we should do next? You want to fix that crystal chamber back there, yeah? First step is getting out of this reef. Alright, let's keep going. I'm going to talk to Calistage.
Your steps, child. This is not a place to walk lightly. There are dangers in the reef, both old and new.
What kind of dangers are there in the reef? Myriad. No. Myriad. What talk? How did I do her voice again? Myriad. Fuck it. Myriad. We walk among the Numenera, detritus of fallen worlds and antediluvian wars. Not everything in the reef knows that his wars ended a long time ago. Yet, but true dangers are contemporary. The reefs hold the promise of treasure for the determined, but not always for the scrupulous. Why is the resonance chamber here on the reef? An astute question, my dear. The most likely answer is that your sire discovered something he could repurpose for his own designs. If you can seal a dome as well as he did, the reef is as good a place as any for experimentation. Alright, what's your story? She laughs, Now is not the time, dear, nor is the reef a safe place for lengthy discussions. Rest assured, when we reach the cliffs, there will be plenty of time to swap tales. And what do you think of Algern? Her lips pucker like she's tasting something foul. Ah, he's useful, she finally says. At least he was, once. If that pompous lack-nibber, forgive my language there, finds one more fault with me, I expect my sister will murder him in several realities. She cocks her head to the side. There goes one now. Alright, so these are all different realities? Who are all these echoes of you? They are me. We are part of each other, sisters across infinite realities. We share our experiences and powers. What's that old saying? That experience brings wisdom? It must be the wisest person in Sage's Cliff. Or I must be. The wisest across countless worlds. Her laughter peels off. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, that's the hole. This jagged hole is where you crash through the dome. Gotcha. And the water is clear, almost unnaturally so, revealing ruins upon ruins as far as you can see.
Let's go.
What is this thing? Alright, let's interact with this. Hello. Two floating currents whirl and spin deliriously around each other, giggling like children being tickled. The air around them smells of sweet, burning leaves. What are you? The cones continue whirling and laughing like enraptured dancers, giving no sign that they've heard you. I'm gonna touch it. Ah, I have a 100% chance of success. Well. You manage to graze one of them with the tip of your finger. Run, a voice says, and your vision is stolen from you. A moon hangs over you, but it is not the one you recognize. It's black and in a pearl-white sky. Thick, flat asteroids orbit in it like petal in the wind. You feel questing tendrils at your ankle, and the hot winds on your face smells of scorched hair and grief. Your vision returns. The cones hang motionless for only a second before resuming their giggling dance. You gotta watch them for patterns. The longer you stare at these artifacts, the more you're convinced that they turn faster when their spiraling paths cross each other. We'll leave them alone. It's weird. I feel weird.
It is done.
What the fuck is this thing?
All right.
Alright, got some money, moss, and some elutriated force. Boop.
I'm ready.
What the fuck is this? Bunch of hands? A tangled cluster of metallic tendrils grows from the depth of the nearby water. Strangely, they resemble clawed alien hands, most of which have 7 or 8 fingers. I'm gonna examine it. The hands sway softly, but their movements are difficult to follow. Watching them for too long makes you feel nauseous. Apart from the hands themselves, you don't notice anything of interest in the cluster. I want to break off one of the hands. Alright, I have a 45% chance. He has a 60% chance. I'm going to let him do it. And 80% chance. Woo! Did it! Good work. You grip the hand nearest you and snap it from its roots. Stepping back, you give it a couple of experimental swings. Good balance. It might make a decent weapon. This metallic object resembles a clenched 8-fingered hand attached to a forearm. You snapped it off a metallic tendril in the reef of fallen worlds. It has a decent heft and balance, and its steely material is powerful enough to deal significant damage. But it's only a makeshift weapon, and is somewhat clumsy to use. Wonder if I can let him have it. I'm not gonna try to pull another one out of there. Can I give it to, Dude! Yeah, man, you, 4 physical damage. Oh, it gets chemical damage, too. Yeah, you're gonna use that. Look, oh, that's kind of cool. Like it's, whoa, those are some wicked tattoos. And here's a Calistage, cunning nano who pierces realities. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright, cool. What's this? A matte black obelisk floats in the midair above the water. It has sharp curved sides that converge to a glowing tip that brightens or dims with the passing of the bay's faint breezes. I'm gonna touch it. You raise your hand toward the obelisk. Dull green light wells from within the black stone, fixed on you like a furious eye. I knew someone who did that what you're about to do, Algern says casually. Aeon Priest. A beam came out of the top of that thing and ripped his face off. Made a fancy nightlight out of his crystal necklace, though. Hey, I'm sure you know what you're doing. Oh, hush. At least the poor priest died in service of his curiosity, rather than stumbling about the coast complaining and feeling sorry for himself. Go ahead if you must, she tells you, ignoring Alijan's glare. But be careful. I'm going to stretch the shard towards it. Carefully, you level the shard at the obelisk, and a superheated beam lances from the tip of the structure into the crystal, sending vibrations up your arm and suffusing the shard with a warm green glow. Cool.
Good balance.
What just happened? Oh, it's infused now. Cool. Cool. That's nifty. I got some experience from it too. Right. What is this? I suppose this is. Oh no. Oh yeah. Wait. Oh no. I'm gonna inspect this hole here. Stone or clump? A bubbling mass of sludge floats on the surface of the water. Every once in a while, an oily nodule separates from it and hurls into the sky. You catch momentary glimpses of a muck-coated object in the putrid masses. I'm going to examine it. Carefully, you lean closer to the heaving mass. After a moment's study, you notice that the globules rising into the sky always contain something, be it a shining core of untainted seawater or a tiny fish. I'm going to get something from there. Got a 75% chance of success. I'm going to do it myself. Yeah, I'm going to go for 95. Doink! Yay, I did it! You found a cipher. Fresh vapors. A simmering jar made of metallic glass. Inside the jar rests a strange miasma. It vapors is crystalline. Confess fresh vapors. Okay, so it actually boosts my intelligence. Alright, cool. That's one cipher. I'm not not sure whether that awful muck is harmless or if you are immensely lucky. Either way, do go on poking things there. It's quite entertaining. Alright. Not gonna risk it. What's in here? A yawning intake marks the front of a long-dead construct. Inside, the metal is pitted black and ancient. A cable connects the spout to the collection device. The nozzle looks like it may have been attached to another machine a long time ago. The strange lines and ripples forming the sunken building are dramatically different from the architecture above the waterline. This device is collecting black goop from somewhere underwater and pumping it to a nearby spout. Okay. Guess this is where I'm going later on. Oh, that's me? Oh, boxes. I'm ready. Let's go. Money and some might and intellect. Cool. Let's go check out this place too. I don't want to go into any doors before I've explored this starting area enough. What's this? Although this cube hovers in the air, you can feel the ground shudder with its vibrations. A long cable extends from the spout, but at the point where it dips below the water, it has been snapped in half. The massive construct was trying to climb across the top of the reef when it died. Its surface is pocked with tiny scars and... Wow, this is a living thing? Ugh. Cobalt petals fold over a short metal stem. Calcified minerals holds the ancient weapon closed. Okay. So if... Whoa. Okay, what's going on? Oh, no. Other people, huh? What do you guys want? Hello. I'm a totally cool guy. Pay me no attention. As you step onto what looks like the back of an enormous construct. Oh, this whole thing is a construct? 4 strangers approach you. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from the cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on grey gloves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something to you when he notices Calisage. Cal, I thought you'd sworn off traveling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down, both you and Alijan. Odds and ends, Coro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she has gone quite still. I'm gonna let them talk. His hands curl into a fist at his side. I was wondering, specifically, if you'd seen a falling star that landed near here not long ago. I've seen nothing of the sort, dear Coro. Oh, I sort of slipped into Irish there. Her lips closed thinly. What about your friend? He turns to you. I know most of the draft that scavenges the reef these days. It's a rare pleasure to see a new face. Nice scars. How did you get them? Two things are more dangerous than death in this world, he says, his smile widening. Asking impolite questions of strangers, and playing with Numenera you don't fully understand. My error was in the latter category, and I've grown more careful since. What are those gloves for? Unwelcome but anticipated complications. He does not elaborate. He does so love his ambushes, Khaleesi whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she isn't looking at you. He didn't have the gloves when I knew him last, but I'd wager they're connected to the device in the area. So, Koro says, apparently unaware of Khaleesi's interruption. The star! Have you seen it? It wasn't a star. Khaleesi hisses under her breath like someone who's stubbed a toe in the dark. An interesting observation, Koro congratulates you, and though he gives no visible signal, his three companions tense at his side. And why do you say that? I fell from the sky. There was no star. I thought so. To reward your honesty, I shall be honest in turn. You have two choices here. Both of them are dreadful. My silver tide raised a tiny amount. He holds up a finger. First option, you surrender to us, and we convey you to my employer for, well, experimentation and dissection, frankly. It's not pretty, but there it is. He holds up a second finger. Second option, we'll call you and the old man. Try not to kill Khaleesi, and bring your body to our employees anyway. Employers, he winks at Khaleesi. Apologies, sweetness. He whirls on Khaleesi, his face tight with fury. You told him we were here, didn't you? You couldn't resist selling me out one more time. Are you really so paranoid? She sighs in exasperation. Darling, she says to Koro, take your thugs and go home. Otherwise we'll have to rip you to pieces, and the world is already so untidy. Koro clenches his gloved fist and a soft whistle pierces the air. What do you say, fallen star? I'm not going anywhere with you. What a shame, Koro says and glances at his companions. Now! Oh, we're fighting, are we? Didn't really want to fight, but I'm not gonna lie to you either. Alright, okay, cool. So, alright, let's see here. I'm gonna talk to Koro here. This is Koro, right? Ixa Koro. No! No! It's turn-based. Wasn't it supposed to be my turn? Okay. Whoa. What? Just... Okay, it's gonna be my turn soon, I guess. I'm gonna talk to you, Koro. I'm gonna talk to you. Take him down, Koro shouts to his colleagues. We need that falling star. I'm gonna remind him that he's fighting a woman who fell from the sky and survived. He can't win. Intimidate him. I'm gonna use. And I won. Hazards of the job, he tries for nonchalantly, but the sudden fear is evident on his face. Anyway, it's too late for apologies. What's started is done. Okay, he's demoralized for 4 rounds, apparently. Abilities. Eldritch Buddy, cut over the strength, shift into 2s. To use the abilities, use icon's ability bar. Okay. So, can I use this thing?
Sure.
Alright, I guess I can. A long tube emerges from the plane of the dead construct and winds upward. The duct terminates in a hollow cone. Every few seconds, a mini drop of green liquid drips out of the end and steams as it strikes the ground. I'm gonna turn the valve at this fucker. With a crack, the valve budges a centimeter. A thin stream of noxious fluid pours from the nozzle and hisses it into the metal surface. You open the valve a bit further and aims the ensuing spray. Alright, well. There you go. Fuck off. Chaos Age is a dimensional husk with 6 Alright, so, let's see. Dimensional superposition. Ooh, let's see. Transdimensional onslaught. Here we go.
Exactly as it should be.
Ooh, ow, that's gotta hurt. Okay, and she's gonna
It is done.
run off. Now it's this asshole's turn. They're hobbled. Stop moving! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm very, very close to dying. Not good, not good. Oh, and the tar spout. Okay. No, 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 no. Oh, healed them. Okay. Give me his turn.
Faltering.
Oh, I am dead.
I'm hurt.
I am dead. Okay. That didn't go quite the way I wanted to, but let's see what happens. Okay. So we are back in my mind. I can't say I expected you back so soon. Why am I here again? You died. I mean, not dead, but you came awfully close. He leans in. You should be more careful out there, for both of us. Are you always here? He shrugs. Where else would I be? I found the resonance chamber, but it's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. I have to find a way to fix it. What should I do now? With the chamber broken, I'm not sure. We need to find someone who can fix it. That chamber's our only hope. Without it... How do I get back this time? The portal's still there. I don't see why it wouldn't work twice. If this is my mind, why don't I remember this place? I told you as much as I know. It's your mind, and that means you're in control. You just need to figure out how to unlock its secrets. I don't know how, but I think the resonance chamber will do that for us. It'll unite us, make us whole again. Alright, is there anything I can do while I'm here? You mean apart from cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventures just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? He jabs you in the arm with his elbow. Ha! And if you believe that... Sorry, but it's your mind. There's nothing like that here. I've looked. Still, you've changed things plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. Alright, I think I'm ready to go. Is there anything else? Boop. The swirling jabs of sorrow shattered the mirror, leading back to the dark fathoms. Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm gonna go back. There's really nothing else I can do here for now. I wonder where they took me. Did they take me somewhere? You float beneath a nauseous tide of darkness. Indistinctive sounds drift by you like shining fish. Slowly you rise towards consciousness, and the sounds string themselves together into words. A woman's voice, arch and scornful. Have you any idea who this is? Who you've hauled through the streets like a sack of grain? Koro, look at that tattoo, for pity's sake. Does it mean nothing to you? That she can't be, Koro says after a moment. I saw her die, Salamari. I swear to you that I had no idea. Of course you didn't, the woman says. Reaching even the most obvious conclusion requires at least some degree of intellect. I asked you to retrieve the falling star, whatever it was, not assault a stranger, and especially not one who happened to be the changing god. I'm gonna get up. Koro recoils with a muttered curse as she rises, grimacing and unsteady. Come now, Adan, Salamari says. Do shake it off. I don't believe for a second that you're actually feeling your age. Who's Adan? You struggle to focus on Salamari. Her arms are folded and she is distinctly unamused. I suppose some apologies are in order, she says, glaring at you. I'll go first. If I had known you were the falling star, I would have given Koro very different instructions. She raises an eyebrow. Now it's your turn. I haven't seen you in 10 years. 10 years! I cannot begin to imagine what your excuse might be. I am not Adan. She blinks once, twice, and a smile blooms. You're a cast-off, she murmurs, studying you from head to toe with an appraising and somewhat proprietary eye. Remarkable! This is rather like visiting a house you once owned and seeing new tenants through the windows. I've met members of your little family before, of course, trailing around in that shadow, looking for clues or trying to repair the damage. Her smile is genuine and somewhat sad. Her eyes linger on yours as if looking for any flash of recognition. I can help you if you like, but I need something from you first. That sounds interesting. Doesn't it? She says. Well, it's a bit of a long pitch, so do let me know when you're ready to talk it over. Let's talk about that favor you want. Of course! She draws your attention to the map of the reef of fallen worlds on her workstation and taps a gilded ornate structure not far from the dome containing the resonance chamber. This is the anechoic lazaret. Anechoic? It has been hopelessly sealed since the dawn of the ninth world until... And she smiles. I managed it in a week or two. It was quite simple once you figured out the trick. I've been slipping in and out at night, investigating the technology within, taking notes. She frowns. Then, more recently, I discovered that the structure was sealed again. Maybe you tripped on an ancient security measure? No, she says crisply. I would not make such a careless mistake. My blue tide again is raised for some reason. I believe someone tramped inside with no regard for the dangers and managed to trigger a failsafe that resealed the structure. She flicks a strand of hair from her eyes. I need someone to reopen the lazaret and... She waves a vague hand. Handle whatever nonsense the trespassers have stirred up in their wake. Why not send Koro? I suppose I could do that, she says. Koro stirs hopefully. If I wanted him dead by sundown and the entire structure looted by strangers. Or a flame. She arches a cold eyebrow. Alternately, I could hire someone competent. And Koro sags. Besides, I can reopen the structure. The concern is what's waiting for me inside. She holds your gaze for a moment to make sure you understand. I want you to deal with whatever's gone wrong in there so I can resume my work. Needless to say, I would also prefer the structure in an undamaged state as I left it. She smooths her robes. Well, there it is. Will you help? Oh, sure.
I'll remember that.
Excellent, she says briskly, but relief flashes across her face. She hands you a metallic stalk with flower-like ridges along its length and a mechanical eye on one end. Okay. That's apparently some kind of key. This, as you likely know, is the Eye of Mlox, and how I originally accessed the structure. The fact that the lazaret recognized this organ as an authorized user implies that its builders were machine intelligences. Maybe a machine civilization from before the dawn of the ninth world. She smiles, brushing off her hands. Well, only one way. On your way, do you watch your step in the reef. It can be quite dangerous. Please, Salaberry, Cora says, edging in beside you. Give me another chance. I'll handle this. I don't work with amateurs. Cora's fist clenches, but he otherwise continues pretending you don't exist. She says, looking between the two of you. Sally Mary considers you both and sorts through her work table, picking up a metallic eye. You're welcome to try, Coro, she says. She hands the eye over, but holds onto it when he tries to take it. And this is your last chance, she says. If you come back empty-handed, you had better be as dead as well. Trembling, Coro pockets the eye and leaves, eyes downcast. Where is my other friend? Why am I... She watches him go and sighs. He's going to fail, of course. It's what he does best. I have some questions about the changing god. Good, she says. Curiosity about your origin is quite healthy. Her expression hardens. I will be happy to share what I know once you've completed that favor for me. Alright. Can I ask you some questions about the city? Of course. Where am I? Cora hit you rather hard, didn't he? This is the Order of Truth. Government Square at the top of Sage's Cliff. Any of this sounding familiar? I'm looking for the cult of the changing god. She nods. These days they're camped about the clock in Circus Minor. I need a place to sleep. Tranquility's Rest is a decent hostel. You might find a bed there. Failing that, I'm sure the cult in Circus Minor would have you. Let's talk about something else. I want to hear about the anechoic lazaret. Oh, she says, her face a carefully composed mask. What is it? What is the anechoic lazaret, anyway? I'm not quite ready to issue definitive answers on that topic, she says slightly. I suspect it was once a place of healing, or quarantine, for machine intelligences. Even if I'm wrong, this is the find of many, many lifetimes. Few remnants of the prior worlds are ever so intact. What should I know about the interior of the lazaret? Is it dangerous? It wasn't, she says, but since I suspect someone or something got trapped inside, she shrugs slightly. Be careful and do try to avoid breaking anything. I am trying to repair something called a resonance chamber. Ah, that contraption, she says. I'd be delighted to help, as I was before, but I'll need you to do that little favor for me first. Enter the anechoic lazaret and make it safe for me to resume my work there. If you seek assistance from the others in the Order, do be careful. I suspect one of them is an informant for the Memovira? Too many of our finds have been pillaged by her thugs. Who or what is the Memovira? The simple definition would be a crime lord in the bloom, but she is quite more than that. In all ways that matter, she rules that tangled cesspit, and her spies are everywhere. Hold on, you think there's a spy in the Order of Truth? Almost certainly, she says, losing interest. But I let Min worry about that. Spies are the problem if you never share your secrets. What do you do here, anyway? I study the ruins and remnants of the past worlds, she says. When I have time, of course. These days, the Order spends more of its time helping the city than on its own research. Still laboring under lesser minds, dear, Kalisage says, running the edge of her thumb along a nail. I have never understood how you put up with it. It's quite simple, Salimera says with brittle humor. They pay, that helps a great deal. Will you be staying with us for long this time? I think not, Kalisage says, letting her hand fall. Busy times ahead, I'm afraid. They are very similar sounding voices, sorry about that. Alright, farewell. Perhaps I'll see you again. She pulls you away from Salimeri. This was not how I pictured you arriving in the Order of Truth, to be clear. I had no part in Korra's ambush, but I did prevail on him to allow me to accompany you here. Now that you come, you may as well take full advantage of the situation and avail yourself of the knowledge here. She curls her lip in a distaste. Allergen is not with us, as you can see. He would not sully his precious mind by stepping within these walls, and so he has gone off to his workshop in the underbelly. I suggest you let him rot there. The words we spoke as we parted were unkind. His accusations of betrayal were the final pin atop an overloaded bridge, so you were, in a sense, the catalyst of our change. Her disposition becomes radiant. And we are free of his gloom and mistrust. Come. I'm getting him back. Hey, Snurf. Lan Yu Ring, Snurf, Min of Tanliang. These are weird things. Alright, hey Snurf, what's up? Slouched before you is a figure clad in a dusty, unremarkable robe. Loose folds of rough cloth shift. Oh, would you look at that? We're actually out of time. I'll talk to Snurf here and then we're going to finish the episode. Reveal a vaguely humanoid form with elongated facial features and two elaborate biomechanical arms. You can't help but notice the size, the shape, and even the number of his digits changing as it tinkers with a bizarre-looking device on the table. It glances up at you. Its eyes are the size of your palms. You realize it is a visitant, a being from another world. Greetings, fellow sentient, it says, nodding with studied respect. I will be with you in a moment. Its mechanical fingers contract and dance independently over the surface of the device before it, adjusting and tightening. There, I am Snurf, guest of the Order of Truth. What brings you to my workspace? I didn't quite catch your name. How do you pronounce it again? Ah, it says, you are hearing a brief elision in my name, correct? A majority of the component syllables are untranslatable or beyond human ranges of hearing. I will try to approximate them. It draws in a deep breath. Snellanarga, with a brief poem about the ambient temperature of dust in moonlight here. Countess, the word that describes a color similar to blue. Ramalerf. It shrugs. I prefer the name of your people here. My name is all too common where I come from. Those arms of yours are interesting. How do they function? I am not quite sure, it says, raising them for your inspection. Extra digits whirl out of the mechanical palms in a somewhat nauseating wave and disappears just as quickly. They seem to be as sentient as either of us, but obedient so long as I keep them busy. Otherwise, they scramble about while I rest, touching things, picking locks, strangling the odd rodent. The visitant sighs. I forced them to take up knitting. Tell me about yourself. Your curiosity honors me, it says, inclining his head. I came through the bloom from another world. To be absolutely honest, I was exiled for inadvertent sacrilege and perversion. I would imagine that you are curious about the people's reproductive process. About my people's reproductive processes at this point? It adds placidly. I would happily describe them. Sure. Tell me more. Certainly, it says, beaming. No details shall be spared. Okay, it is a rather complicated topic. However, I'm gonna change the voice. That's really annoying. However, so let me know when you are ready to speak at length. I'm ready to hear about your people's methods of procreation. Deprived of the layers of sociological complexity, that process is quite simple. The visitant says, at a certain age, my people ceremonially choose a limb for removal. The limb is grown into a new being, children in your terminology. It sighs. This is where matters get more complicated. The selected part relegates the child to a caste. Armed children become laborers, leg children become warriors, and head children, due to the sacrifice implied in their creation, becomes leaders. Snurf studies its metal hands. As I've suggested, the limbs we surrender do not grow back. In fact, those who replace their limbs will insult their children and sin against their people. So this is where you became biomechanic. You are correct, it says. Unfortunately, I surrendered my arms to create my children, it says. They grew to maturity and joined me in the study of various wide-born Numenera. For a time we were happy. It lowers its eyes. Then I discovered a melted humanoid figure. I did no more than glance at its folded arms before it opened its eyes. That is the last thing I remember. I awoke with the arms you see now. Snurf sighs. My children, thinking I had disowned them, disowned me, and my people were even less merciful. It wasn't fair of your people to punish you for an accident. Okay, that's blue. Indigo tide. Cool. Snurf. I'm not sure it was, the visitant says carefully. My work was difficult at best when I lacked arms. Perhaps the artificers heard my frustration and sought to ease it. Artifact, not artificer. A moment's weakness can cause those so much. At least I have found other ways to take my mind off the loss of my family and my people. It was only when I began visiting other worlds that I learned that most species do not reproduce by severing limbs. Snurf says, shaking his head. The discovery fascinated me, and so I began cataloging the various methods of procreation found throughout the void. It was only when I found my way to Sage's Cliff by way of the Bloom that I was offered a place to work here in the Order of Truth. And there you have it, the visitant says, folding its mechanical arms. Tell me about one of these reproductive processes you find so fascinating. Oh God, this episode is... Alright, we'll continue hearing about how other races fuck in the next episode, guys. Sorry, I'm really drawing out the time here. This is a really fascinating game so far. Alright, we'll learn about cattle rails in the next episode. Bye-bye.